Welcome back. Welcome to the Rolling Studio. Hello, hello. How are you? I'm going to come back today, and this is for trying to get back to the Scrimshaw series that I'd started. And I did a live, but not everybody watches a live, so I thought I'd do a quick video of what some of the things that we did on one of the lives for the Scrimshaw when we were working on the Ditty box. It ended up turning into other things, so we're going to go through that real quick. And the first thing I'm going to start with is this animal book. This is a 1419 copyright free illustrations of mammals, birds, fish, and insects. And I wanted to use this book. I haven't used this book other than in the one live. And what I did was, I'll give you a quick flip through, which is an awesome book. This book can be used for learning to draw in crosshatch, hatching, and dotting, and that's called stippling, for the proper word. And it has realistic animals and whatnots in here, so I just kind of wanted to go through it briefly. It's such a big book, I can't possibly go through it all, but here's some beautiful butterflies, and then I think there's some moths in here as well. But the reason I got this book was because I'm sticking right now with the theme of whaling, but I was going to create the same thing that I did on the live, which was a helpful tip and trick if you can't draw. Scrimshaw, you can't draw. And on the live, we did this shell. I'm going to show you, if you can't draw, how you can still take something like this and trace it and transfer it to your piece, whether it be the faux whale's tooth like I showed you in previous videos, or I'm going to show you something new today. This will not only be a technique of transferring a image, but we're going to do it on a flat surface instead of a bone or a faux whale tooth or a faux anything, mammal, marine bone, anything like that, like most Scrimshaw is done on. But instead, we're going to do this on a flat surface. I did the shell because it was simple and it was fairly quick for the demo. And I think I will go ahead and do it anyway. I mean, why not? We'll go ahead and do the shell, and I will leave a link or a picture if you go to the Out of the Box Creation, a Roland Studio affiliate Facebook group. I will leave a template of this particular shell so you can try it yourself. The other thing I may do tonight, and I don't know, I may have to do it on the next video, is doing a versus video. And what I'm talking about is we're going to transfer that image onto Yupo paper. I like to call it Yupo, but that's just me. And on this Yupo paper, it's truly a fabulous medium to work on. It's a non-porous plastic, but you can use it with wet media, and it can be wiped clean. This says that it's truly an innovation in fine art substrates. The synthetic tree-free paper is everlasting and non-absorbent. It resists buckling with wet media and can be wiped clean. Pigments will retain true clarity and brightness. A new way for techniques to flourish. This is Yupo medium. That's what this says here. This is white Yupo, and this has got 10 sheets in it. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby on sale for $11.99, normally $20.75. This is the medium grade, and it says it's suitable for watercolor, alcohol inks, and acrylics. So we are actually going to do Scrimshaw on this Yupo paper, and let me just show you what we did in the live, and maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just keep it simple. I don't know, we'll see how this video goes. This is the shell that I just showed you in the book. Let me try to get you a close-up here, hang on. There you go. And you'll notice that it is scrimshawed. It's etched into the Yupo paper, and we were able to color it with chalk. This right here, actually not chalk, excuse me, with oil pastels. And with the oil pastels, we were able to layer upon layer. And you can still do it in the classic black and white, leaving the Yupo white and using black ink, or you can use alcohol ink, or the oil pastels. And here is a quick we did it with some graphite paper. This is just carbon copy paper. That's how we did it first. And then what we did is we just simply took the tracing paper itself and transferred it directly. So I went through the trouble of getting some of this carbon copy paper, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And you could probably order it online, but I didn't want to do that because I was pressed for time, and I'm never home, so it takes a lot for me to get that. So instead of, I got this from a shipper. I was at a shipper office, and I saw the lady using carbon copy. I asked where she got it from, and she just gave me a few pieces of it. So this is what I initially used to transfer, but in the live we did some experimenting and found that if we just did the tracing directly onto from the tracing paper to the Yupo, it transferred beautifully. That was just how I did it real quick. I was just going, let's see if it works. And it did. So basically this would become your template, and then you would do your etching with it. So hang on tight, I'll be right back. Okay, I have cut out some tracing paper to fit the image here, and what we're gonna do is I took my this is a 4B sketching pencil. This is an inexpensive pencil set that I got from Walmart. It works just fine. In fact, I like it a lot. It does really well. This is the Dollar Ronnie, Daler Ronnie. Anyway, it's the sketching pencil 4B, so it's kind of soft, so it should transfer the graphite very well, and I made sure to have a sharp tip on it. And I'm going to put this part in time lapse. I may slow it down for a second or two. I'll start it off slow. All we're going to do is trace, so let's do that. You know what? It might be best to tape this down. Let me tape this down. I'll be right back. Okay, I probably should have used masking tape, but this should work just fine. I'll be able to peel it off my book. Let's just get started on this. Just going to do the basic outline first, and then I'll do some detailing afterwards. This image is created with hatch lines, and so it's a very simple trace. And like I said, if you can't draw, I'm sure you can trace. It's fairly an easy thing to do. And I'm going to put the details in time lapse. Okay, let's see how we did. You don't have to be quite exact. You just want to get the essence of the scrim. You can detail it however much you want to. You can lighten it, you can darken it. This is your project. The main thing is to get the essence of the shell on to your project. So let's take this Yupo paper here. Here is our rendering. Now I'm going to take this tape off and I'm going to flip that graphite over onto my Yupo. Oops, let's not tear that. I've already torn it. Be careful not to tear your image. I almost did. Let me just, I'm trying not to waste any of my Yupo because this is not cheap material. I'm flipping it over. I'm going to set the image right there, and I'm going to tape it down again. You might want to get a burnishing tool so we can burnish this on. Hold on one second, I need to grab mine. Okay, I have this burnishing tool. It's a Mod Podge burnisher, so I'm going to use that. You can probably use a gift card or a credit card or something like that, but I'm just going to take this and carefully start my burnishing. I want to make sure I get all of my graphite onto, sorry about the shaking, onto the Yupo paper. I want it to be a good, clear transfer. And I just did this in a rush, so even though it doesn't take a lot to trace this, I'll assure you, I didn't take a lot of time. I just gave it a little detail so that I could use my Scrim needle and a little imagination. Alright, let me lift this and see how we're doing. Oh. Uh-oh. That didn't work so well. Hold up a minute. Did I trace on the wrong side of my tracing paper? Does it matter? That one looks better. Let me try to use my thumb. Just out of curiosity. It transferred so well over here. I wonder Oh, no, there it goes. I guess that burnishing tool just wasn't, I wasn't harsh enough. My thumbnail was harder, so I guess put some pressure to it. Let's apply plenty of pressure. So that's good to know. Let's see if that made a difference. Made it a little smudgy. My fingernail did better. Alright, well, let's just try that. Alright, let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna tell you, my thumbnail worked great, you guys. My thumbnail did an excellent job. You don't need anything but your thumbnail. I wonder if a bone folder would do any better than that. This is a rubbery, but it's malleable, but I don't know why that didn't work. It did more smudging. Well, there you go. I mean, ta-da! I got a little nervous there for a second. But here we go. And look, I still have an image over here, so I guess if you wanted to do 2 of them, I wonder if there is enough graphite on here to do that. Let's see. Hold on. I've got this all weighted down on my table. There we go. Let's see if we can get a second image. It looks like it. So see, you can get a couple of images out of this. Voila! Or as the old Superman guy used to say, Walla. Otis, I think his name was. I've got a second print out of that graphite. I could probably get a third one up here, but I'm not doing that. But anyways, you can see the Yupo takes the graphite so well. And the only thing left to do here is to scrim. So I'll do a little bit of that in time lapse, and I will show you a live result on a part of, I think I'm going to use this one just because it's lighter. Be easier to erase, although those lines are kind of nice. Well, I'll use this one, the original one, and I'm going to do that in time lapse just a little bit just so I can show you. Okay, and just like in real Scrimshaw, I'm only going to do a little bit at a time, so that way we'll do it in little bits. And we're going to use this Master's Touch Fine Art Studio oil pastels that I picked up from Michael's. It was a $7.99 deal. I think I got them for 50% off. And I'm going to choose a dark blue here. And I will zoom in. And I will get my, you want a dry paper towel. And we're just going to add this blue right in here. I'm just going to go for a little bit of shading here at the bottom. Just get it all in there. And then I'm going to wipe it out. Kind of hate wasting all that oil pastel, but they're cheap enough. It's not hard to wipe away. It's a little waxy on there, so I don't know if I should have erased my pencil first, but I probably should have. I'm going to use this kneading, it's a kneading eraser, and I'm going to, yeah, I probably should have, but at the same time, it gets rid of the top coat of that oil pastel to give a clear scrim. Oh, you can't see that. I do apologize. Yeah, I think next time I will erase where I haven't scrimmed the pencil marks so that we can get a clear, I don't want that being taken away. We can get a clear just on the scrim there. Now, of course, I have misplaced my needle, and that's never a good thing. Oh, what did I do with my needle? I'll have to go back and watch this video, find out where I put my needle. I hate to end up with that thing in my foot. Or other places. So, I'm trying to get the so let's do that again. Just in blue. A little more. I'm not just wiping off I want it to go into the groove, so I'm kind of doing it in a round motion, a circular motion, to make sure that I embed that color into the scrim. And it looks like it's taking it really nicely. Now I'm going to do a little wipe off. Because I want that scrim to stay embedded. And then I think I will use this again to slightly just, you know what? Let me just take my eraser and lighten all that up. Beautiful. Look at that. That is awesomeness. That way it's only taking the surface and not the grooves by doing it this way. You might want to dedicate your eraser to just these, because mine's turning blue. I do have another one though, so not to panic. Well, I know you won't, but I was starting to, and I was like, oh yeah, I have another one. But that gives you the scrim of the scrim. Get it? Scrim to the scrim. Let's do another color. So you get the idea. I want that embedded in there really good. I'm going to use my finger. I'm not afraid to get messy. You got to be mindful not to wipe off your other marks, otherwise your imagination will have to go into play. So keep your little tracing paper there, like that, and that will help you not to wipe away and see how you can layer. Let's do some yellow here in the center for highlighting. And we didn't scrim all that much, so I can go back and scrim that. And I don't want to lose my dark shadows. So it's just a work in progress, however you'd like to do it. And I'm not going to worry about all that because I will be cutting my image out. But there you go. I love it. I think it's so cool. And again, keep your little paper over this. Now here's the thing. Once you get your final product, see that? Once you get your final product like this here, you can fussy cut it out, or see how you have a little leftover color, like background color. You can do some fancy cutting around it, leave that shadowing there to pop it out. You might could throw a little darker background around it to pop that shell right out of there. Let's see, I got some black here. Let me get some black. Well, that's okay. I want black anyway. I just want to give you an idea how you can really make this pop. It's kind of like when you take a blending brush the way you do your antiquing papers. It's the same thing. Just pop that color right out of there. Give it a little smoky color behind it. It's all up to you how you want to do it. And then once you cut it out, you can put it in a journal. So that's why I wanted to show you this, because this is, Scrimshaw can be put in a journal or an envelope or some flat surface project. You could probably even use a stamp and scrim off the stamp print. Maybe I'll do that as a series. I found my needle, yay. But this will get you started, and I'm going to leave this template in my group, Out of the Box Creations, and there will be a link in the description below to that group. That is my group, and I will leave this particular shell in there so that you can take a picture of it, save the image and print it out, make it smaller, make it bigger, however you want. But I will leave that image there for you to give this a shot, and maybe down there, and see how it looks like there's a shadow behind that. I love that. Maybe we'll do something in the future on some kind of a challenge down the road. Not right now, because I'm not up for challenges. I've got too much on my plate to deal with. But this will give you some great practice time, and I will be putting that in the group, so go check it out. And the next video I do will be Yupo versus photo paper. So be looking for that video, because we did some experimenting in my life and came up with some really interesting results. So I will do that on the next video. So see you next time, guys. I hope you become a Scrimshander. It's a lot of fun. Sorry it took me so long to get back to this video. My time is limited, but definitely worth playing around with. So I hope you become a Scrimshander. Excuse me, a Scrimshander. Scrimshanders unite. That shell looks like it's floating with that. That's so cool. Okay. Bye.